All right, so this is our new book club book, and this is actually called Letters from Hillside Farm. Now, this book is up here for history because it is a historical book. We are going to actually be writing some letters to the senior citizens over at Canyon Rim. And what my hope is that maybe the letters that we read from this boy to his grandma can give us kind of an understanding. Now, this is historical in the sense that it's fiction, though. It's not a true story. It says that the story, there are things that are true in sequence, but not necessarily the entire book is true. So the story starts March 15th, 1938, Tuesday. It says Rural Route 1, Link Lake, Wisconsin. Dear Grandma, we got here yesterday and I am not an hour too soon. Since we were pulling the trailer behind our car, Pa couldn't drive very fast. As we crossed into Wisconsin and headed north, I saw snowflakes. I told Pa it's supposed to be spring, but he said here in Wisconsin it can snow any month of the year. I think he was stretching the truth a little, but those surely were snowflakes that I saw. Little Annie said they were pretty, but she says that about everything. Ma didn't say anything. I think she's tired. Well, I know she was. It's a long drive from Cleveland, Ohio to Link Lake, Wisconsin. By the time we pulled into the driveway at Hillside Farm, that's the name on the side of the road, it had already snowed an inch or so, and it was coming down so hard Pa could scarcely see out of the windshield of our old Plymouth. The windshield wipers made a kind of clunky sound as they pushed the snow aside. By the time we unloaded the car and the trailer, it was snowing so hard you couldn't see from one building to another. While we were carrying things into the house, Pa told us that this is the beginning of a great adventure and that no matter what happens, we should... I always wish that they would leave this stuff on the same page. We should always look at the sunny side of things. I understand the adventure business. Pa has been talking about this move to Wisconsin. It will be a great adventure ever since he and Ma started talking about leaving Ohio. But look at the sunny side. In the midst of a storm. So I thought about the puppy he promised to buy me back when I was raised a fuss about moving to a farm in faraway Wisconsin. But today when I asked him when I can get a puppy, he just laughed and said, things first. The next thing I discovered about our great adventure is that it doesn't include indoor toilets. Ah! Yikes. When I asked Pa where the bathroom is, he kind of smiled and said he saw it out back of the house when he first drove up. I asked him to show me where it is. So much snow was falling and the wind was blowing so hard that I could see just a few feet in front of my face. Pa walked with me to the outhouse, and even he had trouble finding the way. Can you imagine getting lost in a snowstorm trying to find your way to the bathroom? Do you know what an outhouse is, Grandma? It's a little building with a door in the front and a kind of bench with a hole in it where you sit. And when you drop your trousers and sit over the hole, you about freeze your back end. And there isn't even toilet paper. You use pages from an old Sears Roebuck and Company and catalog. I tell you, you do what needs to be done and get out of there as fast as you can. It doesn't smell very nice. Did I mention that? I was worried that I might fall through one of the holes. That would be just about the worst thing that could happen to anybody. When I stepped into the kitchen of our new farmhouse, When I stepped into the kitchen of our new farmhouse, I saw Ma at the sink. Staring at the sink. There were no faucets. I asked Pa if we have running water. Do you know what he said? He said, sure, we have running water. Just go out to the pump house, pump a pail full, and then run back to the house. Funny. Not funny. Then he laughed. I didn't think it was funny, especially because Pa knows I can't run at all since I broke my leg last year. I think he must have forgotten about my limp. He never mentions it. Ma talks about it, though. She always asks me if my leg hurts. It doesn't hurt much, only when I walk a lot on it. Ma is still upset with the doctor who tried to fix my leg. He didn't do a very good job of it. I guess the break was pretty bad. You wouldn't think you could break your leg falling out of a tree, but I sure did. Sorry, I need to move this up. The doctor says it will take a while for the leg to heal. How long is a while? Well, it's already been 3 months. One of the first things Pa did when we got inside was to start the fires in the kitchen and the dining room stoves. That's how our house is heated, Grandma, with wood-burning stoves. There's a wood pile just a few steps from the west side of the house. Pa says one of my chores will be toting wood from the wood pile to the house, where I am supposed to stack it in a wood box that stands beside each stove. Ma has to do all the cooking on wood-burning stove in the kitchen. She hasn't said so, but I bet she doesn't think much of that idea. Tomorrow, Pa's going to drive me to school and see about getting me enrolled. I have already missed a week since we left Ohio. Jeez. Sorry. And I am worried about falling behind. 7th grade is not an easy year at least it wasn't in Ohio. I suspect it won't be easy here in Wisconsin either. I am worried about going to a country school where all 8 grades are in one room with one teacher. In the city, the 7th and 8th grade students have their own room with their own teacher. I also worry about my leg and whether I'll be able to walk to school. It's a mile from our farm. This letter is my first chance to try out the writing paper and pencils you gave me. Ma says I must be sure to say thank you for such a fine present, so thank you very much. I will try very hard to write to you as often as I can and let you know how I am doing in this new place. I have also found a spot in my room for the leather tools you gave me. I hope I'll have some time to work on some new leather projects. Ma is calling me to fetch some more water, so I must stop writing. I hope I can find my way to the pump house without getting lost in the storm. We all miss you, Grandma. Little Annie keeps asking for you and wonders where you are. I guess she's too little to know that you are not just around the corner like you were in Ohio. I sure wish you were here. I wish we hadn't left Cleveland. Love, George. Okay, so for this type of writing for history, it says facts. Usually I say facts, connections, or what do you call that? Questions. And so for this one, I'm going to put the date, which is week 4, day 1, 10/5/20. And this is letters from Hillside Farm. And because this is the title, it does need to be underlined and the proper words need to be capitalized. So just going back to this beginning, I'm going to have a connection. I would not like a house with the only bathroom outside. So my question, oops, I need the E, sorry. My second one is, I wonder if the mom will make the dad put in running water in a bathroom. I also wonder why the grandma didn't go. Why didn't the grandma go with them? And then my last connection is I went to a one-room school house when I lived in Montana. Oops. When I lived in Montana. All right, so 4 connections and 2 questions actually. Question, connection. I could write a fact about something from the story, but I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go back and grade this. So I have my title. So good job, spelled it correctly. I have a capital and an end mark for each of these. So this is +2. And it's on topic in connection to the story. Why didn't Grandma go to? I wonder if she's too old to travel. It doesn't sound like there's a grandpa there because he doesn't say hi to Grandpa. So maybe she's in a different place. Maybe she's living with a relative. Maybe she doesn't want to leave her house. All right, so now I have +8 out of 8, which is an A+. Sweet. Write that on your score page. Nice job, you guys.